Bigfoot's big nose to see the full stream. Facebook find Bigfoot. Why Patty could not have been a man in a suit. There's many reasons why. The evidence is so overwhelming that anyone that thinks it's a suit is either delusional or untruthful. So why? Well, Sasquatch is likely the greatest discovery of all time. A single film cannot just prove that. It needs an even better explanation. We'll get to that soon enough. But today, let's just look at the Patterson Gimlin film. The study of the PG film is important because we can identify scores of real Bigfoot videos through the study of Patty's morphology. Here are the top 10 reasons why it's not a suit. Okay, number 1, the hooded nose. Okay, it's likely developed through swimming adaptation, chasing game across rivers, or diving for aquatic life. It probably between 2 and 8 million years ago. Well, all ape costumes in the 1960s and 70s had these gorilla noses. See, water would flow right into them. It doesn't work. But if you look at Patty here, you'll see Patty has a hooded nose, as well as the 40,000 other accounts, or maybe the 5,000 that are close enough to see the nose. See the human on the left there? It's a hooded nose. See, Planet of the Apes, not a hooded nose. Okay. So how would they have known that? Number 2, white pads in the bottom of the feet. They lift, they twist, the knees knock. It's seen in 12 of the 61 films, okay? Especially the Georgia film where it has to lift, twist, and then turn to kind of get out of the way and knock knees so they have an inline step. Next, the body fat. It moves around the bones, the connective tissue. It's compressed by the skin. It's not simple. So if you watch step after step, you'll see, look at the little love handles there moving up and down. I mean, that's not simple stuff. I mean, that's connecting to you have to make the fat connect in between. You have to have different layers. That is just not easy stuff to do. I mean, look at, for example, in Planet of the Apes, they couldn't do it. And look at Robert Morris. Look at how pathetic that suit is. I mean, it's a joke. Okay, now let's look at the glistens and the dark spots. They're correct for the skin and what's below the there. You see, there's the different things for the shoulders and the width. It's the same thing. It's not a suit. And if you were to look at gorillas, 125,000 gorillas were found. If you look at this, there's a little auburn tint there. Just a little bit of auburn tint. Some people have red hair. Humans have red hair. There's a little auburn tint. If you look at the colorized version, just a slight auburn tint to the hair. And that's kind of cool. It's just, that's not very easy. There's a myriad of colors there. There's brown, there's black. The fold under the arm. Now this is really cool stuff. Okay, there's a little fold right there, and it's a human-like fold. See the two ladies down below? It's the same thing. You'll see a ligament that goes across, and you'll see this concave indented area below the deltoid muscle on the body. Well, let's just talk about that a little bit. It's not that simple to actually make. Okay, if you have material inside, it's going to expand outward at the same way. Okay, but how real anatomy doesn't work that way. See the magenta little arrow on the bottom? This is a cross section of what a real arm is. So let me read this. This contour can't be replicated by simply putting padding under a fur arm sleeve. It would need to be shaped specifically to this concave pattern, and then the fur cloth would need to be tailored to the exact contour to produce this result. Okay, so now if you see this, you can see how suits themselves don't quite work, and it's not necessarily simple. So look at here, look at a suit from the 1967s there, and you see that little bulge there. It's like it's a U. It's not the same as what Patty has. So, okay, thinning distribution of hair. Now, a lot of this stuff comes from Bill Munns, or some of it does, and this is his great Gigantopithecus statue. He's plugged the hair, and it thins and does that. It's not simple to do. Look at the upper right-hand corner. You have to, some have to go one direction, some have to go the other direction. It's very difficult, but in humans or in apes or in Sasquatch, it's very simple. You'll see the blotchiness, and there's a different patterning. And that's how an expert costume maker or an expert person could actually make it. Now, if a person, you'd have to have a chest plate because the breasts would have to hold onto the chest plates. Well, you'd see that there'd be different patterning in the shoulders, and Munns has already done that. Okay, arm length. Now, this is a no-brainer. We've already done this in the Muskie versus Allen. Look at the dude on the left, and look how long the arm is on the right. They're not even close to being long enough. You need those long arms so you can run along, in quadrupedal motion. If you here look at Australopithecus as a tree climber, and you look at Homo erectus, see the difference? The arm length is remarkable. You add it all together, it's even more incredible. Okay, the IT band rupture. Well, we focused on this a couple times before, but it's pretty cool. I mean, you can see that no suit is going to be able to see the motion of the muscle moving back and forth on each step. You can see the shoulders, everything. Now the breasts, not to be like a perv, but these are really well formed. I mean, 5 years went by and millions of people saw this before they saw it. Now look at the way they're formed. That's exactly how a breast should be. You can even see where the nipples are. You can see that they're held in a certain way. That's because they have a Cooper's ligament that runs down the front. You'll see that same Cooper's ligament, and that's what holds it there. To build that, you can't just put a suit together like this. It doesn't have Cooper's ligaments. It doesn't have internal mechanisms. That's a laugh. Okay, number 10. Listen to this expert from 1967. He even at this point thinks that Patty is a he. And that's what's incredible, is that he thinks it's not possible.
As a result, the footage was submitted to experts in various fields. Among them was Janis Prohaska. Active in the motion picture industry since 1939 as an impersonator of animals of the ape family, Mr. Prohaska was convinced that Roger Patterson had filmed a living, wild creature.
The movement is the only thing what throwed me a little bad, because he moved a little bit more like a man than an animal. Because you could see all the muscles on the body and the whole movement. It didn't move like a costume at all. And the size of it was enormous big size, so I don't know if they find a big man like that.
Mr. Prohaska, you mentioned that the creature did not move, as if it were a costume. Do you think it would be possible to create such a costume?
That would be a difficult... I don't think so. Because that costume, if it would be a costume, that would have taken such a long time to put the hair. You should put the hair by glue on. That would take about 10 hours, the whole makeup job. And it looked to me very, very real. I'm doing this since 1939, and if that was a costume, that was the best I have ever seen.
It's pretty good. Okay, other points. We're not going to go through them, but there are lots of other reasons why. Okay, conclusions. It is impossible to build a suit like this today, or in 1967, or in 2167. So why do people claim to have hoaxed the world? Well, number one, fame. They'll go down in history. How many people get to do that? Number two, revenge. Bob H. was envious of Patterson. He may have been financially screwed. Financial reward. Greg Long wrote a book. Number four, they're supporting an agenda, maybe like a certain type of creationism where evolution is a problem. Mental instability might be a problem. The reality is it could be a little bit of everything. Okay, it is absolutely certain that Sasquatch exist. It is now a matter of figuring out how they do it. Dedicated to the genius of Bill Munns.